Are you over 60 and feel like your skin, hair, or smile have lost some of their former glow? In today's video, we'll show you how a simple, inexpensive ingredient that you probably already have at home, baking soda, can help restore your appearance and, more importantly, your confidence. Stay with me until the end to discover safe and effective ways to use baking soda in your daily routine and feel renewed from the inside out. Reaching 60 is a real achievement. It is a sign of a life full of stories, experiences, overcoming challenges, and learning. It is a phase that brings with it a more serene, deeper beauty, one that comes from within, shaped by time and maturity. However, it is natural that as the years go by, the body begins to show signs of these changes. The skin loses some of its elasticity, wrinkles become more visible, the hair loses its shine, and even self-confidence can be shaken. And it is precisely at this point that many people begin to look for alternatives to take care of themselves and regain that sense of well-being that goes beyond appearance, something that comes from feeling good about yourself. But these alternatives do not always have to be expensive, difficult, or inaccessible. Sometimes the greatest allies of our health and beauty are much closer than we think, as is the case with baking soda. Yes, that simple white powder you probably have in your kitchen right now. It may seem ordinary, but it is a true natural treasure when used wisely. And believe me, after 60, it can be a great ally in your self-care routine. Baking soda has been known for centuries for its antiseptic, alkaline, and mild abrasive properties. But when it comes to beauty, especially for those in their mature years, these benefits take on a whole new meaning. That's because, unlike many cosmetic products on the market, baking soda does not contain harsh chemicals, does not interfere with hormones, and offers real results without compromising the health of your skin or body. It respects the biology of mature skin, and that makes all the difference. One of the great powers of baking soda is its ability to balance the skin's pH. Over time, our skin can become more sensitive, prone to inflammation, dryness, or excess oil in some areas. Using baking soda as a gentle cleanser helps neutralize these imbalances. When applied gently, mixed with water for example, it removes impurities, excess oil, and dead skin cells without causing irritation. The result is cleaner, fresher skin with a natural glow that is often lost over the years. Another key aspect is cell renewal. After the age of 60, the skin tends to have a slower renewal cycle. This means that dead cells remain on the surface longer, leaving the skin dull, rough, and lifeless. Baking soda, when used as a mild exfoliant, contributes to this renewal by gently removing dead cells and allowing the skin to breathe better. With continued use once or twice a week, you will notice a softer texture, a more even tone, and even a softening of the appearance of blemishes or fine lines. But the impact of baking soda is not only external. When we look in the mirror and see clearer skin and a brighter complexion, it also affects how we feel inside. It's as if self-care reawakens the pleasure of taking care of ourselves, of valuing ourselves, of putting ourselves first. And that, perhaps, is the greatest power of baking soda. It reconnects us with a version of ourselves that is still alive, vibrant, ready to be celebrated. Of course, like any natural ingredient, baking soda should be used with care. Mature skin needs special attention, so it is essential that baking soda is used in moderation. No scrubbing or applying every day. Just mix a teaspoon with a little water to form a paste. Apply to the face with gentle movements and rinse with warm water. After that, it is always important to moisturize. After all, hydration is the key to keeping skin looking fresh and protected. In addition, baking soda can also be used on other parts of the body. Under the arms as a natural deodorant that fights odors without clogging pores, on the feet to soften calluses, and on the hands to gently clean and lighten age spots. It is a versatile, affordable, and above all effective ingredient. By incorporating baking soda into your personal care routine, you are not just taking care of your appearance. You are reaffirming that you deserve attention, care, and well-being. You are telling yourself that aging is not synonymous with neglect, but rather a new chance to flourish with awareness, simplicity, and self-love. If you are looking for a way to restore your self-esteem, to regain that sparkle in your eyes and skin, try including baking soda in your daily routine. Start with simple care. Look at yourself more kindly. Rediscover your beauty, not what the world expects, but your own, real, mature, and full of life. Because after 60, the most important thing is not to look young, but to feel alive, whole, and confident as never before. Over time, our skin changes. This is inevitable. At 60 or older, it has already faced sun, wind, cold, pollution, sleepless nights, stress, hormonal changes, and so many other marks that life has left behind. Every line, every wrinkle, every spot carries a story. And all of this is beautiful because it shows that we have lived. But it is also true that these visible marks can often make us feel a little distant from the image we have of ourselves. Feeling that our skin is duller, less vibrant, lacking that natural glow, can affect the way we see ourselves, and little by little, even how we feel inside. That's where a simple, powerful, and deeply transformative gesture comes in. Gentle exfoliation. Exfoliating your skin with care is an act of self-love. It's like saying to your body, I see you, I care for you, I'm still here. And when this exfoliation is done with a natural, accessible, and effective ingredient like baking soda, the benefits go beyond the physical. They touch our self-esteem, well-being, and confidence. But first, let's understand why exfoliation is so important for mature skin. When we are younger, our body naturally renews skin cells approximately every 28 days. Over the years, this process slows down. By age 60, it can take 40, 50, or even more days. The result is that dead cells accumulate on the skin's surface, making it difficult for pores to breathe, contributing to a rough texture, tired appearance, and accentuating wrinkles and spots. By gently exfoliating this surface layer, we are helping our body do something it can no longer do as efficiently. We are clearing the way for the skin to breathe better, absorb more nutrients, and gradually regain that natural glow that seems to have hidden over time. In this process, baking soda acts as a gentle physical exfoliant. Its fine texture, when applied with light movements, removes impurities without harming or sensitizing the skin. But be careful, the key word here is gentleness. Mature skin is thinner, more sensitive, and needs to be treated with respect. Do not apply pressure or repeat this treatment every day. Once or twice a week is enough. Ideally, mix a teaspoon of baking soda with a little water to form a creamy paste. You can enrich this mixture with a drop of vegetable oil, such as coconut or almond oil, to increase hydration. Using your fingers, apply to a clean face, using very light circular movements, especially on the rougher areas, forehead, nose, chin. Avoid the eye area, which is extremely sensitive. Then rinse with warm water and dry with a soft towel without rubbing. What comes next is also important. Moisturizing. Exfoliation allows the active ingredients in your moisturizer to penetrate more effectively. After the process, your skin will be more receptive, cleaner, and more alive. And it will also feel different, softer, with a freshness that only those who have experienced it can understand. It is a feeling of renewal, of reconnecting with your own body. And don't think that the effects are only external. There is something deeply emotional about this kind of care. When we dedicate ourselves to ourselves, when we stop for a few minutes to take care of our skin, we are also taking care of our inner selves. We are sending a clear message to our unconscious. I care about myself. And that has a transformative power, especially after 60, when so many women feel that they are no longer a priority for anyone, not even themselves. Gentle exfoliation with baking soda is an invitation to break this cycle. It's a way to make yourself a priority again, to take time for yourself, to remember that self-care has no expiration date, that every stage of life deserves to be lived with dignity, self-esteem, and pleasure, and that taking care of your skin is indeed a way to reconnect with your own essence. Another important point is that baking soda, in addition to exfoliating, also has antiseptic and anti-inflammatory properties. This means that it helps keep pores clean, preventing minor inflammation such as blackheads and pimples, which can still appear even after the age of 60. For oilier skin, it can also help balance excess shine without over-drying, which is essential for not aggravating signs of aging. However, it is essential to remember every skin is unique. What works for one person may not work the same for another. So start slowly. Test on a small area of skin before applying to the entire face. Observe how your skin reacts and adjust the frequency according to your needs. And whenever possible, consult a dermatologist who understands the particularities of mature skin and supports the use of natural solutions in your daily care. There is something universal about a smile. No matter your age, culture, or stage of life, smiling is an expression that connects, communicates, and conveys emotions without words. But as the years go by, many of us lose that freedom to smile naturally. Not because we don't want to, but because we don't like what we see in the mirror anymore. Teeth that were once white and vibrant begin to show signs of aging, stains, yellowing, loss of shine. And for many people, this directly affects their self-esteem. It's understandable. After all, our smile is one of the first things others notice about us, and one of the first things we notice ourselves when something isn't right. At age 60 or older, after decades of exposure to coffee, tea, wine, cigarettes, pigmented foods, and even certain medications, teeth can really lose their original color. Many end up resorting to chemical whitening, but these procedures are not always affordable, and worse, they can be harsh on more sensitive teeth, which is common in older adults. That's where the star of this video comes in: baking soda, a discreet but powerful ally that can help you regain confidence in your smile without damaging tooth enamel or affecting oral health. But how exactly does it work? Sodium bicarbonate is a slightly abrasive substance, which means it has the ability to gently remove surface stains from teeth, those caused by pigments that accumulate over time. By brushing your teeth with a small amount of baking soda mixed with your regular toothpaste or a little little water, you can achieve a deeper clean than with regular brushing. It does not alter the structure of your teeth or penetrate the inner layers like professional whitening treatments, but it significantly helps remove those external stains that darken your smile over the years. But that's not all. Baking soda also has antibacterial properties. This means that it contributes to the balance of oral flora, helping to fight bacteria that cause bad breath and gum inflammation, and that's a double benefit. While gently whitening, it also promotes oral health. And as we know, a healthy mouth is essential not only for aesthetics, but for our overall health, especially in old age when the risk of gum problems and tooth loss can increase. However, as with all natural remedies, the secret lies in balance. Baking soda should not be used on your teeth every day, as it can wear down the enamel, especially if your teeth are already sensitive. Ideally, it should be used once or twice a week, gently and without excessive brushing. You can prepare a simple paste by mixing half a teaspoon of baking soda with a few drops of water or with your toothpaste. Brush for 1 minute with gentle circular movements and rinse thoroughly. If you prefer, you can finish with a natural mouthwash such as chamomile tea or warm water with cloves for an extra feeling of freshness. Another interesting point is that baking soda can be combined with other natural ingredients to enhance its effects. For example, mixing it with coconut oil, known for its antimicrobial properties, creates an even more effective and safe whitening paste. In addition, the oil helps protect teeth and gums, which is important at a stage of life when the oral mucosa may be thinner and more sensitive. But more important than any aesthetic result is the feeling of freedom that this can bring back. Smiling again with confidence, without hiding your teeth, without putting your hand in front of your mouth or looking away, that is something precious. And it's not about vanity, but about expression, presence, and connection with others. Smiling genuinely is an act of life. It shows that despite time, age, and challenges, you are still whole, alive, and radiant. And that glow that starts with a smile doesn't have to stop there. Just as we take care of our teeth, we can also take care of our scalp and hair, areas that are often overlooked but play a huge role in our image and well-being. The shine of your hair, for example, also changes with age. It loses its softness, lightness, and vitality, and many conventional products leave residues that only make the situation worse. But what if I told you that baking soda can also help in this regard? Yes, that same simple ingredient that brought back your smile can do the same for your hair, deeply cleansing, removing residue, and restoring that natural movement and shine that so many people miss. Time leaves its mark everywhere. It shows on the skin, hair, eyes, but also on the smile. And perhaps that is why the smile is one of the first things that quietly changes as the years go by. At 60 or older, many no longer feel comfortable smiling with the same spontaneity as before. Not because they are less happy, but because the mirror now reflects something different. Darker, stained, yellowed teeth, as if the natural light of their smile had lost some of its strength. This happens to almost everyone. Years of coffee, tea, wine, certain foods, medications, and even hormonal changes can affect tooth enamel, making it more porous and susceptible to stains. Add to that the fact that teeth naturally age along with the rest of the body, and it's understandable why so many mature people stop smiling freely, but it doesn't have to be that way. And the best part is that you don't have to spend a fortune or undergo aggressive treatments to regain, at least in part, the beauty and freshness of your smile. There is a simple, natural, and very effective remedy that can be used safely, even by those with sensitive teeth. Baking soda, a discreet, inexpensive ally that can transform not only what you see in the mirror, but also how you feel. Baking soda acts as a gentle cleanser. Its finely abrasive texture allows it to remove surface stains that accumulate on the surface of the teeth, especially those caused by pigmented foods or natural wear and tear. It does not penetrate deep into the enamel like the chemical whitening products you find in dental offices, but acts as a mild polish, gradually restoring lost shine. And that's more than enough to make a visible difference. In addition, baking soda has alkaline and antibacterial properties. This means that it not only helps with the appearance of your teeth, but also with the health of your mouth as a whole. It neutralizes acids that promote tooth decay, fights bad breath, and even helps prevent mild gum inflammation, problems that become more frequent with age, especially when there is gum recession and increased tooth sensitivity. But how do you use it correctly? The answer is moderation and gentleness. One of the most common mistakes is to believe that because it is natural, baking soda can be used every day. This is not true. Excessive use can actually wear down tooth enamel, especially in more sensitive mouths. Ideally, it should only be used once or twice a week. To do this, simply mix half a teaspoon of baking soda with a little water to form a paste. This mixture can be used alone or added to your regular toothpaste. Brush with light, circular movements for no more than 1 minute. Then rinse thoroughly and, if desired, follow with a mild mouthwash. For those looking to enhance the effects and keep their mouth hydrated, a great suggestion is to combine baking soda with coconut oil, another natural ingredient with antimicrobial properties. This combination creates a whitening paste that not only cleans but also protects the oral mucosa, leaving the mouth feeling fresh and light. The oil helps reduce sensitivity, while the baking soda takes care of cleaning and natural whitening. A safe, simple, and powerful combination. And more than just aesthetics, the impact of a renewed smile is emotional. When a person smiles with confidence again, they rediscover a part of themselves that may have been dormant. It's not just about whiter teeth. It's about holding your head high, looking people in the eye, opening your mouth to speak, to laugh, to show joy without fear or shame. Because smiling is living, and it doesn't matter if you're 20, 60, or 90, a smile is still your purest form of expression. Many mature women and men don't realize how much the simple act of smiling influences the way the world perceives them. A smile can open doors, create bonds, convey lightness, and knowing that you have the power to take care of it, to regain that strength with a natural and accessible resource, is liberating. Self-care often starts with small details. Hand smiling is undoubtedly one of the biggest, but caring for your appearance doesn't stop at the mouth. It goes further. If a smile is a gateway, hair is the frame of the face. Over time, the shine of the strands also fades. The scalp accumulates product residue, pollution, and sweat. Hair loses its lightness, becomes dull and lifeless. Many believe this is an inevitable consequence of aging, but it is not. Just as teeth can be cared for with baking soda, hair can also benefit from this same ingredient. When used properly, it can remove impurities, revitalize the scalp, and restore hair's natural shine that often seems to have disappeared forever. Throughout our lives, our hair accompanies us through many phases. It changes with us. It grows, falls out, gains color, loses volume, reacts to emotions, hormonal changes, time, and even how we feel. But what perhaps not everyone realizes is that over the years, hair begins to carry much more than just external experiences. It also bears the weight of residues accumulated over decades of product use. Shampoos, conditioners, styling creams, dyes, sprays, serums, oils. Over time, all of these build up on the strands and scalp, forming an invisible layer that gradually robs hair of its shine, movement, and natural lightness. This build-up of residue is especially harmful in maturity. At age 60 or older, the scalp no longer has the same natural oiliness. The strands are more fragile, blood circulation decreases, and the hair growth cycle slows down. When the root is clogged with product residue and environmental impurities, the strands do not receive the nutrients they need, and this is directly reflected in their appearance. Thinner, drier, duller, and lifeless hair. And then comes the feeling of frustration that nothing works anymore. But is it really the hair that is aging, or does it just need to breathe again? This is where baking soda comes in as a powerful natural alternative. Unlike many anti-residue shampoos that contain harsh sulfates and drying ingredients, baking soda offers a deep yet gentle cleanse when used correctly. It has the ability to penetrate layers of buildup and dissolve impurities that conventional shampoos cannot remove. Best of all, it does this without compromising the structure of the hair or damaging the scalp, as long as it is used in moderation. Application is simple, but it deserves attention. Ideally, prepare a mixture of 1 tablespoon of baking soda for every 3 tablespoons of warm water, creating a fluid solution. This mixture should be applied to the wet scalp with gentle circular movements, massaging with the fingertips. It is important not to use force or rub with your nails. The idea here is not to pull out what is there, but to gently dissolve it. The application time can be short, 1 to 2 minutes is enough, and then rinse thoroughly. This procedure can be repeated every 10 to 15 days, depending on the amount of products you usually use. And for those who feel that their hair is extremely dry, you can complement the treatment with a rinse of apple cider vinegar diluted in water. It helps restore the pH of the hair and closes the cuticles, leaving the hair shinier and softer. The effect after cleaning with baking soda is almost immediate. Many people report that their hair breathes, gains movement, loosens more easily, and responds better to hydration and brushing. The scalp also benefits. Free of residue, circulation improves, the hair bulb returns to functioning more vigorously, and in some cases you may even notice a reduction in hair loss. But the most fascinating thing about this process goes beyond aesthetics. It is the symbolism of starting over, of removing what has accumulated over time. Just as we clean our skin to reveal what lies beneath, just as we whiten our teeth to rediscover the brightness of our smile, here we are cleaning the foundation, the roots. We are telling our body, our reflection, that it is still possible to restore, recover, revive. We are saying that we still care. Taking care of your hair at this stage of life is also a gesture of identity. Hair hair carries personality, style, stories. Seeing it shiny and full of light again is like rediscovering a part of yourself that may have been forgotten. And this doesn't require any grand rituals. Sometimes the secret lies in going back to basics, in a light touch, in the right choice, in the simple ingredient that brings back the essentials. But it's worth remembering, the use of baking soda, like any other natural remedy, requires moderation. It should not be used too often or as a daily substitute for shampoo. It is a deep cleansing treatment, a one-off treatment, and like any cleansing, it needs to be accompanied by moisturizing. After application, use a good moisturizing cream or a light vegetable oil, such as argan or jojoba, which nourishes the hair without weighing it down. The balance between cleansing and nourishing is what makes all the difference. And when you start to notice that your hair is looser, softer, more vibrant, something changes inside too. You realize that you haven't lost your shine. It was just hidden, covered up, waiting to be revealed. And that's exactly what maturity allows us to do. See beyond appearances, recognize the value of care, presence, touch. Shiny hair is not vanity. It is a reflection of a woman who still loves herself, who still looks at herself, who still wants to feel good. And if care started with your hair, it can expand. After all, the whole body deserves attention. And there are parts that, because they are hidden, end up being forgotten, like the armpits, for example, a delicate area where we sweat, where we use products every day, where the skin can easily darken or become irritated. This is also where baking soda can work, offering a safe and natural alternative to conventional deodorants, taking care of odor, sensitivity, and even skin texture. Well-being is not just the absence of pain or discomfort. It is a state, a feeling, a peaceful presence in one's own body. And as the years go by, taking care of this well-being becomes even more important because the body changes, yes, but the desire to feel alive, comfortable, and secure within oneself never changes. At 60 and beyond, well-being no longer comes from excess. It comes from simplicity, from the silence that welcomes, the touch that respects, the care that listens. And among the many areas that require this kind of attention, there is one that almost always goes unnoticed, but which directly influences how we feel every day. The underarms. Yes, the armpits. This small, usually hidden area of the body plays a much bigger role in our sense of comfort and security than we tend to recognize. It is where we sweat, release toxins, accumulate products, and it is also where we often feel silent discomforts, irritation, darkening of the skin, dryness, unwanted odors. How many times have you refrained from raising your arms out of embarrassment? How many clothes have you stopped wearing because you didn't want to show that part of your body? The good news is that there are simple, natural, and effective ways to transform this care routine. One of them, perhaps the most accessible of all, is the use of baking soda as a natural deodorant, an ingredient that, despite its simplicity, has profound potential for renewal, not only of the skin, but also of confidence. Baking soda is alkaline, which means it neutralizes the acidity of sweat, and it is precisely this acidity that creates the ideal environment for the growth of odor-causing bacteria. When baking soda is applied to clean, dry armpits, the skin's pH is balanced, and the growth of these bacteria is stopped, preventing odor before it even forms. And all this without synthetic fragrances, alcohol, aluminum, or substances that clog pores or alter the body's natural functioning. But the benefits don't stop there. In addition to effectively controlling odor, baking soda also acts as a gentle exfoliant, which, with regular and gentle use, can help gradually lighten skin darkened by years of residue buildup or constant friction. Many mature women have had these stains for decades, unaware that they can soften them with such a simple remedy. Just apply a small amount of baking soda mixed with a little water or coconut oil to form a light paste. This mixture can be gently massaged into the armpits a few times a week, rinsing thoroughly afterwards. The most interesting thing about this process is that it gives women back the freedom to move, to wear what they want, to raise their arms without fear, to feel comfortable in their own bodies. And this goes beyond physical freshness. It's emotional, it's identity. It's the power to walk in peace with your own nature, without relying on industrial solutions that mask, stifle, and often create even more discomfort. Of course, every body is unique, and it is important to observe how your skin reacts. Some people have more sensitive armpits, and in these cases, you can dilute the baking soda even more or mix it with soothing vegetable oils, such as calendula or lavender. The secret is in listening, in conscious use, in respecting your own rhythm. The body speaks, and at 60, it has a lot to say. Knowing how to listen to it is also an act of wisdom. Incorporating this type of care into your routine is an invitation to reconnect with your own well-being in a deeper way. It's not just about not smelling bad. It's about feeling fresh, free, present. It's knowing that you are at peace with your body and that your body is being treated with the dignity it deserves. It's the pleasure of getting dressed without thinking twice. It's the relief of knowing that you can spend the whole day active, light, and confident. And all this without overloading your skin with artificial products that often do more harm than good. The freshness that baking soda offers is not just physical. It has the power to affect your mood, mood, your emotional state, the way you face the day. Because when we feel clean, soft, and comfortable, our posture naturally changes. We walk straighter, we smile more often, we relate to others with more freedom. And that, deep down, is what we all seek. Not perfection, but the freedom to be who we are, with lightness, truth, and confidence. This daily care, done with awareness and affection, spreads. It starts in the armpits, but soon reflects in the way we treat other areas of the body. It manifests itself in our gestures, our choices, and the more generous way we see ourselves. Because self-care, when it is real, becomes a cycle. The more we take care of ourselves, the more we want to continue caring. The better we feel, the more we look for ways to expand that feeling. When we talk about natural care, it's easy to be enchanted. There is something deeply human and comforting about going back to basics, discovering that simple ingredients, such as baking soda, can offer so much with so little. After years of relying on industrialized, complex, often inaccessible cosmetics full of empty promises, rediscovering the effectiveness of something you have in your kitchen is almost like finding a forgotten path. And this rediscovery of nature isn't just about what we put on our skin. It's also about rhythm, about listening, about respecting the body's timing. And that's exactly why, while we celebrate the benefits of baking soda, it's also essential to talk about conscious use, because like anything powerful, it requires care. Baking soda is an alkaline compound. This means it has a high pH, unlike our skin, which is slightly acidic. This acidic pH is natural and necessary. It keeps the skin's protective barrier working properly, fighting harmful microorganisms and maintaining hydration. When we apply an alkaline substance frequently or in excess, this barrier can be compromised, leaving the skin more vulnerable, sensitive, and reactive. Therefore, baking soda should always be used in moderation, especially on mature skin, which already has slower regeneration and a more delicate protective layer. One of the first important tips is never use pure baking soda directly on the skin in an abrasive manner, rubbing hard or trying to speed up results. Exfoliation, for example, should be done gently with soft movements as if you were touching something precious, because that is exactly what your skin is. When you make a paste with baking soda and water or vegetable oil, the texture becomes smoother and safer, preventing micro-injuries or irritation. Even so, use should be occasional. Once or twice a week is enough to reap the benefits without causing damage. Another point to note is the contact time. Baking soda should not remain on the skin for long periods. Its role is to cleanse, renew, and balance, and this can be done in a few minutes. Prolonged applications, especially on thinner areas such as the face, can cause sensitivity, redness, or that uncomfortable tight feeling. The ideal is to apply, massage gently, and rinse well, always finishing with adequate moisturizing to restore the skin's balance. It is also important to observe your body's response. Each skin has a history, a memory. What works well for one person may be harsh for another. Therefore, whenever you introduce baking soda into your skincare routine, test it on a small area, such as your forearm, and observe for 24 hours. If you experience burning, itching, redness, or any discomfort, discontinue use and seek guidance, especially if you have a history of allergies or skin sensitivity. The same principle applies to teeth. Baking soda can be a great ally for superficial whitening, but its use should be sporadic, gentle, and always combined with good oral hygiene habits. Brushing too hard, too often, or using pure powder daily can wear down tooth enamel and cause sensitivity. The ideal recommendation is to apply it once or twice a week with a soft, bristled brush, complementing with good conventional brushing, and if possible, monitoring by a trusted dentist. When used on the armpits, baking soda should be diluted, mixed with natural oils, or applied in small amounts, always on clean, dry skin. Skin with lesions, cuts, or recently shaved skin should avoid immediate use, as the higher pH can cause burning. In these cases, allow the skin time to recover, and if you want to further soften the effect, mix the baking soda with soothing ingredients such as calendula oil, natural aloe vera, or even cornstarch. Another important precaution is moisturizing. Baking soda cleanses, renews, and opens pores, but it is moisturizing that rebuilds, protects, and keeps the skin supple and vibrant. Therefore, always apply a moisturizer suitable for your skin type after use. For the face, opt for nourishing formulas with ingredients such as hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, vegetable oils, or shea butter. For the body, body butters and gentle lotions help maintain balance and prolong the benefits of the treatment. The conscious use of baking soda is, in essence, a metaphor for what maturity teaches us, that not everything that is good needs to be intense, that gentleness is also powerful, that balance is wiser than excess. Taking care of yourself after 60 is not about chasing time. It is about walking side by side with it, with intelligence, lightness, and truth. And by understanding this care, by knowing your own limits, limits. By respecting your skin's time, you not only avoid risks, you also strengthen your autonomy. You begin to choose clearly what works and what no longer works. You filter, select, personalize. Because in the end, self-care is not about following a ready-made recipe, but about building a path that makes sense to you. And once that path begins to form, everything around you changes. Your outlook changes. Your gestures change. The way you present yourself to the world is transformed. And when body care aligns with inner security, something very special happens. A serene beauty is born, one that does not depend on external approval or comparison, a beauty that simply is. It springs from touch, presence, and attention to detail. Now that you know the uses and care instructions for baking soda, how about taking inspiration from all this to completely transform your routine? Because true care begins within, but is revealed in every choice, in every daily gesture. And often, it is these simple gestures, repeated with intention, that have the power to renew an entire story.